Greetings to you in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Truth plus love equals life. Today I'm going to give you an opportunity that I think is really good for me and for you. You don't have to take advantage of it. It costs you no money. I believe truly from my heart that I'm doing a favor by telling you about this. You can do with it whatever you want. It doesn't cost you any money. I believe you could be a millionaire doing it. This is just my speculation. It's literally just intuition. I am a prophet. Just means teacher. Nothing without Jesus. I hope you check out my videos on the seal of God. Truth plus love equals life. There is a whole thing going on called monetary reset. I have no idea. I shouldn't say I have no idea. I don't know that anybody knows exactly how the whole system works. But I have studied a number of different things for years. Done 100,000 hours of research. Don't know everything. But I have a kind of a good instinct for things. There are two coins called Pi and B. P-I-B-E-E. I'm putting links underneath here. I'm going to give you my name to sign up with. You do not have to go through me. If you think I'm suspect, then okay. I told you about it. I signed up for them by somebody I found out about, like random strangers, and went, what's this? So if you don't want to give me credit, that's okay. I hope you'll go find somewhere else and sign up, though it's more respectful if you go up under me. What happens is the coins just pile up a little bit quicker the more people you get under them. There is a fixed amount of coins, and the later you come to the deal, the slower the rate is of getting coins. Now, right now, they're not necessarily worth anything. It costs you nothing to sign up for P-I, Pi, and B-E-E-B. It's full circle, and it's all the buzz. Now, B is a type for honey. Do you know that B is on the cover of the Utah flag? Why did the Mormons go there? I personally believe it's possible. This is what I think, but nobody's going to tell you this. I believe that the secret Mormon Utah Deseret Kingdom gold is in part backed behind the BEE cryptocurrency token, whatever it is. You press a button and it generates money. I believe the Stanford Trust is behind Pi, P-I, because it's run by Stanford. I believe this is an incredible opportunity for people to fill a slot to create money. When I say make money, most people think like you sell us something and you get us something. You made some money. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking money does not exist, and now it does. And I believe we're participating in the creation of new money. And those that have eyes to see and ears to hear are going to fill a slot, like when Kramer from Seinfeld has to sit in the Oscars because they have seat holders. The bankers can't just make all the money and give it to themselves. It has to breathe in and out like a fishing net. Like tides breathing in. I've always said the tides feel like God's breathing in, like in and out, okay? That's how money's created. It starts out with a little and it ripples outer. They cannot just make a whole bunch of money out of nowhere, give it to everybody. It undermines the whole system. It's also, quite frankly, it's going to give a whole bunch of money to people who are not real bright, who will make a whole bunch of kids. I mean, yeah, they think of them as useless eaters, and there are some such things as useless eaters. I'm not rich right now. I don't give a crap how much money you make. I'm sure there are useless eaters who are billionaires. Now that think about it. Some of them are the worst predators too. And they're poor people. They're just the nicest people ever. So it's neither here nor there. But what they know is that less than 1% of people are going to find a coin amidst all of these, sign up, and press a button. I really, truly believe there are going to be people who starve to death in the end times, and it breaks my heart. And the devil's going to tell them, you thought we were all out to get you, even though he's evil. The people that run this show are still Solomonic. They're half and halfers. It's not wise to consider them evil like all the time because it won't work. You won't understand them. The great deception is the half and half. I believe they're giving us an opportunity there'll never be to make money again. It's so big that, you just don't make it an idol. But money still has to exist and has to be created into existence in order for the whole macroeconomic thing to work. Macroeconomic means the whole economy is more important than your little currency. So if it needs to go up or down because they need numbers to be made, you're just filling in a slot. It's like icing cake goes into a birthday cake with some divots in it. And they need to create these numbers to make the whole thing work. It's also how they make $1 gazillion. In that sense, it is like multi-level marketing, whereby with banking, it's not side to side, it's top down. When you're under, like, when money's created, it's a ripple, 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 ripple. It's not side to side like we're all the same cheerleaders. It's a general, colonel, however it goes, captain, sergeant. I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm not military. I go by Roger that, but I'm not military, so forgive me that I don't, know the whole pecking order. I am 100% convinced. Let me tell you how I do what I do. B13, capital BEE is 13, flip the E's, 33. 13 bloodlines, 33 hexagram, mark of the beast. Pi. 169 is 16.9, pi. 1 is a circle with a 6-9 unity, like a yin-yang, a balance, half and half. They worship the balance. I'm also here to tell you, this is the revelation that I have. Looking at the higher consciousness of that which appears to be like a little rinky-dink silly scam. If you were going to give you an opportunity to press a button and make millions of dollars, do you think they would tell you it's asset backed and it's really neato and you're going to make $1 million? No, because that's disrespectful to people who slaved away at a factory making $12 an hour for 40 years, losing their pension funds. If I was one of them, I would not do that either. I would do exactly what they're doing. I would put it out there just a little bit, and whoever finds it, finds it. And you know who's going to find it? A whole lot of Stanford grads. And if I had the big Stanford trust from Stanford University, yeah, they loved Jane Stanford, and they loved whoever the Papa guy is. By the way, the head Stanford, I forget his name. Was it Leland Stanford? The kid was Leland Stanford. They named it after. They used to own, I think it's the Pacific Railroad. I want you to look this up, because this is the reason I do what I do is because I study history and I have a much greater scouting report for these things than a lot of other people do. There are pictures. This is years ago. I've studied all this stuff because I want to make music and I didn't have money and my life was just, I gave it the seal of God and had no money, so I learned about money. This is about, 10 years ago. There are posters you can find that said, the, whatever it is, I think it was the Pacific Railroad, the something Western Pacific, or I'm sorry, look it up. Just put Stanford Pacific Railroad flyer. And it says you can pay in your train with 90 cents or 70 cents in gold pieces or something like that. It wasn't very much money back then. That meant they gave you a discount for the gold coins because they were in banking and they understand gold can ripple out a whole lot more than paper. An ounce of gold to a banker. An ounce of gold to us right now would be worth whatever it is. Let's say it's $1,800 or something. An ounce of gold to a banker might be worth $5 million because he presses a button and one M1 supply creates. So let's say the first ripple is $10,000 a coin makes. The second ripple is like 1.2 million. Or let's say it's 150,000. The third ripple is 3 million or something like that. It's logarithmic. That's how our money is made. And I believe you're chosen to just, there's so many nightmares in this life that I believe good things can happen too. And I just don't see why somebody would go through all that trouble to make a scammy token and then even have it connected with, Stanford. Now, the B people never said they're with Utah, never said they're Mormons, never said it's a big honeypot of Deseret and Flag Kingdom of Utah, and Deborah in the Kingdom of Heaven means beach. She was the Queen of Israel, and she definitely had eyes to see and ears to hear. But it literally takes you less time to sign up for Pi or B than it does to watch this video. What you do is you press a button once 24 hours. If you don't want to do it, that's okay. It'll even send you little notifications. If you sign other people up, your rate of token creation gets a little bit faster. And eventually they expire. So you can't make an infinite number of coins or it would have no value. So I don't know how long it takes for the coins to expire. It would depend on how many people sign up. The later you come, the lower rate you get. So they've already cut the rate down after 10 million users or something. So why not just get in on this? There's no mark of the beast here. I trademarked the mark of the beast, so that's not it. Didn't cost me anything. Literally $0. Just like when you go on Coinbase and you get free coins, it's you could end up with even now a couple hundred XLMs and you just answer some questions. It cost you $0.00. We live in a world where things are so evil that these people that work their whole lives for pension funds, they deserve to have their pension that they worked for. That's not right that they're going to probably lose in this collapse all their years of effort and labor. I'm doing this because Okay, yes, it's in my interest if you sign up under me. But let's say you don't sign up under me. You think I'm telling the truth, and it's Roger Go Stick It and your little dog Wendeloo too. Okay, I'll never hear about you if you do that. But I'll still feel good if you don't cheat yourself, or if it keeps your kids from starving, or if, like you couldn't get grandma her hip surgery, or your car broke down in 6 years or 3 years from now, and you look at Pi and they just put it on Coinbase and it starts trading and it goes up from a penny to, the next Bitcoin. Or let's say, I really truly believe Pi and B, no doubt in my mind, will someday be over $1,000. Well, what if a few years of pressing buttons, you look at it, you got 1,000 B and 1,000 Pi coins? Okay, what if it's worth $2? You have $2,000 from pressing a button that takes 2 seconds a day and 5 minutes to sign up for. And you get a lot more if other people signed up under you. The button doesn't do anything other than show a participation in the creation of money for which the bankers, I believe, all speculation, will reward you and say, at least you did something. It's not rewarding you for pressing a button. It's rewarding you for the consciousness, the skill set, the innovation, the little different, to them, they're evolutionists. Now, if you're new to my channel, I'm a creationist. They want people who can adapt, think outside the box, move forward, be digital, think for themselves, show that they're not the average person walking around who may be awesome, but is not particularly enlightened, and who they don't want to have millions of dollars for nothing. So I believe they're just trying to pre-select who's smart enough to press a button, because the money's got to go somewhere. So let them figure it out, or they don't deserve it because it's just a button pressing. That's what I think is happening. And I believe the Stanford Trust is going to eventually back Pi. And I believe the Utah Secret Gold Mormon Deseret flag is going to, in some way, fund the beehive. I can't prove that to you. If you would ever ask them, they'd be like, we don't know what you're talking about. They're going to say that whether it is true or not, I'm sure. Even the people running it might know that, for all we know. We don't. And then one day they just show up and say, hi, we're going to asset back this, and you people own a bunch of these, so you're happy. And then we put it on Coinbase, and let's start trading. I think that's what's going to happen. So my number is, the thing to sign up is Roger that, ROGERTHAT 777. If you don't want to do that, it's okay. I have learned in the money game, the shotgun versus the sniper approach. What does that mean? I've probably got a dozen of these little things. Any one of them may be a scam, but I don't think all 10 of them are a scam. I'm not going to tell you all of them. I mean, just anything other than a dime, paper, dollar. That's part of why I have these fake currencies behind me, because they've got like a few pennies worth of gold in them. So the speculation value may go way up, like those, what they call the 100 trillion Zimbabwe dollar notes, even if they never turn in any, very unlikely you're going to go into a bank and you're going to walk out with $100 trillion. But the rarity, because they can't make those anymore, versus an inflated dollar as a collector, and the speculation has gone up from like $1 to I don't know what, $50, $100? I haven't even looked them up, but I mean, they used to be 10 years ago when I bought some of those, they were like $1. You can't get most stocks to do that 100 times. It's like buying a stock at 5 and now it's 500. You'd be like, yeah, that's just on people hoping. So, now I do want to keep this video short, but I'm desperate for people to do something to help themselves, because when the day comes and the door to the ark is shut, there's a spiritual ark, there's probably going to be a financial ark, meaning if you don't get in, without Jesus is not going to mean anything. The blood of Jesus is the only money. Everything else is fiat currency by the declaration of God. And that means gold and silver are fiat because God declares as such. But I truly believe we're going to see a haves and have-nots, and there's no reason you can't be a have. If you have eyes to see and ears to hear. So I'm going to leave the links downstairs, and if you don't want to sign for it, that's okay. I mean, I really hate to say it, but people are not going to have an excuse when they're poor. There are homeless people. Okay, I've been free range. I really hate the label homeless. It's hard. It's evil to do that, like, hey, this is your identity. Home is in the heart. When you have Jesus, you're always home. But I've been literally just everything but murdered for truth. Not a pot to piss in. I was still buying cryptos years ago just in case, with my little disability money, just in case something happened. Because you have to plant seeds in the future in order to reap today. You're not going to get rich sitting around saying, and I waited for the government stimulus check. Unless, of course, with me, I take off a little and buy a little something seed money because I know every time they do that, it's just going to undermine the dollar and print it into oblivion. They're basically burning out. Think of a used car with like 300,000 miles on it. You want to buy a new car. But if you're a business, it's like, look, there's probably 50,000 miles on that before we just consume it all. So they burn it out and they go on road trips and they take whatever and they're just waiting for it to replace so they get a new one. That's how I see the old dollar. They're just going to burn it out until it's worthless and they can pay their friends back with cheap paper printed currency. And the other countries are going to do the same, and then they'll whitewash the whole thing and have asset-backed currencies, and the new dollar will be awesome. And whoopee, it's called hyperinflation. It's a script, and it's happening in America just like it happens to the rest of the world. So there you go. I love you enough to tell you the truth. I really do. I'm coming from this. To be perfectly honest, this one is about 50% I want good for you, and 50% I want a whole bunch of people to press a button so I can make a whole bunch of more with you. Because somebody else is doing this with me or whoever's in their downline, and I don't know they did anything or love Jesus or care or whatever it is, So if you sign up to somebody else and you have 100 people underneath you and you never talk to me, okay. But I do hope you bless it forward to somebody who, is sympathetic. Not everybody's sympathetic and not everybody in need. Some people who are poor and homeless deserve to be. Some of them should have been in jail or hell a long time ago. Some of them are awesome and amazing. That's something that happened to me. I have the greatest discoveries of all time. Yeah. I'm really the king of Israel, spiritual Israel. It's okay if you don't believe. I don't like that, but yes, I get made fun of and roll-eyed, and some people love me, think I'm awesome, some people hate me. And it really usually doesn't have anything to do with me. It's just how they love Jesus. It's how they love me. Of course, I would never accept worship or anything like that. I'm just telling you it's a spirit. Some people totally love me when they see me. I don't open my mouth, and some people start frothing at the mouth and want to hurt me. Almost everybody I know is hurting for money. And I live in a rich neighborhood here because I'm living with my dad. But even people who've been rich are like, man, I don't like what's coming. I don't know what's coming, and I don't have a retirement. I can't trust the pensions. Please check it out. Sign up for the Pi Network. You can sign up for the B Network. And if you don't want me, please consider doing that just because I'm convinced that it will eventually, a few years, whatever it works, they're going to be like, hey, it's trading now. I mean, against the dollar or the yuan, the whatever it is, the loonie, all these different currencies. And I think it's going to go crazy big. Say, well, why would all these Stanford, Utah, why would they do this if their resources are there? They're going to make more than everybody else, okay? So for every ton of gold that backs one of these currencies, if you have a ton of gold a ton of gold is worth, let's say, $30 million. But if you were to back a currency with it, it might be worth, a $30 billion or $30 trillion in printing out. So if you sponsor that gold and make money off it, let's say you only get a third of the whole thing. Okay, $30 million worth of gold just turned into whatever, 10 billion because you didn't take all the paper that's printed off it. You just got the top. You get it? Every asset they have is multiplied by a huge number. So even though they're not going to get all of it, that $30 million of gold may turn into 10 billion, and the other $20 billion of paper created is going to be realized by people who understand what's happening and know the value of a lot of these currencies. Now, is it also possible that cryptos just die? They turn into whatever garbage it is and it's all a big scam? Yes. This one didn't cost you anything. Think of how many times a day you press a button and it's a spam email and it's a pain in the butt. Well, you press a button once a day and it just starts generating tokens there. Go look at Ready Player One. It's like a big digital video game, and I don't think all of the currencies are going to be awesome. My faith is in Jesus. That's why I don't give financial, educational, health advice. This information is educational, anecdotal, information purposes only. But you know what? It's also spiritual and prophetic. So please consider this. Love you guys. Take care. In the name of Jesus. Truth plus love equals life.